Hi everybody. For this week's assignment, I chose the Quizlet technology. I chose Quizlet for two reasons. As you'll see in the blog, my wife made me familiar with Quizlet when she used the flashcards for nursing school. Her and her friends used the flashcards to help them study for all their various tests. And then I also chose Quizlet because after experiencing it with her, I used it a little bit with my class. It's a Studying flashcards isn't something that woodshop students do very often, but for the few days before a test or a quiz, the kids got a little bit of use out of it. We used it mostly for drafting. We covered the vocabulary and the techniques and the names of different things. They were able to become more familiar with the vocabulary just before tests, like I mentioned. So on the screen here is the Quizlet homepage. I want to walk you through quickly how to create a class, how to assign members to that class. Then I want to show you how to create some flashcard sets. I want to talk to you about some of the pitfalls with the flashcard sets, some of the things to avoid or look out for. And then I want to show you two more things: how to study the flashcards, the various techniques that Quizlet has available, and then how, as a teacher, to get some feedback and use that feedback to help you change your learning techniques or to help kids improve or to take advantage of the program. So very simple. It's Quizlet.com. You can create a login. You can use a Google login, as I did up here. You'll see there's a free login, or you can pay a couple dollars, I think it was 20 some dollars, to upgrade. There didn't seem to be very many features for the upgrade. It did say that there were some more tracking, some more student progress monitoring tools available to you if you paid the couple dollars to upgrade. So once you get yourself logged in, that will be your login. All of the flashcard sets that you create will be stored there. All of your classes will be stored there. The nice part about the program is you, as a teacher, can create a class, add students to that class, create flashcard sets, so on and so forth. Or the students can just create their own flashcards, create their own class, and study it all on their own. So if you choose to use it as a tool for everyone, you can make it available for your whole class. Or if the students choose to do it on their own, they can make their own flashcard sets, share them with their friends, however they feel like using it. So the first thing you want to do over here in the little widget on the side, there's an option to create a class. I'm just going to click on there. It comes up and it asks you for a few prominent pieces of information, class name. So for instance, we'll do drafting 2. I already have a drafting 1 class in there. Class description, this is optional, but it helps you discern a little bit from class to class. So we'll just call this upper level drafting. And then you can choose here to either allow your students to add study sets, or you can allow them to add new members also. That's entirely up to you. There doesn't seem to be any pitfalls with that. The only thing is sometimes kids will create flashcard sets that don't have very accurate information, so maybe you want to review their flashcard sets before you just allow them to add them to the class. It asks you, and I think this is just for Quizlet's information, Quizlet's benefit, it asks you to enter your school. So my school is Valley View School District. And we're not in either of these. Let's see. Maybe it's Valley View High School. There we are, Valley View High School, Archibald, PA. I only teach at one school, so we'll leave that one blank, and I can create the class. So once you have the class together, you can see up here it tells you only have one member, and that member is you at this moment. And if you click on that, it gives you an option to share this link with your students. You can send this to them via an email, you can send this to them, you can share the link on the chalkboard in your room, write it down on a piece of paper, send it to them, whatever is easier for you. They can follow that link, and then they'll be added to the class. So the class is just a collection of students. It's nothing more than that at this moment. So first thing we would want to do would be to add members. I can put a student's email address in here, just for example's sake. I'll throw my email in here so you can see how it works. And then hitting send, what that does is that sends the student an email with that link that we saw earlier, and they can choose to click on that link and join the class or whatever the case may be. You can send them individually. You can also have options here for bulk emails. If you do that, it's just going to give you the option to enter multiple emails at once. You could import email addresses from a data set or something like that. So get your class list. Again, another gray area. Sometimes it's awkward asking students for their email address. Some schools provide all the kids with an email address, whatever is more convenient or appropriate for your school. But get all the addresses in there, get them listed, send those links, and hopefully the kids will reply, and they'll trickle in and start to fill up your class. After you have your class established, you have all of your students as members and all of that kind of stuff. The first thing, or what you're going to want to do, are up here these sets. Sets are lists of flashcards, and that's what Quizlet is based on. Quizlet is a online electronic version of flashcards. In my blog, I mentioned about how my wife wasted ridiculous amounts of money on index cards, making flashcards over and over again. They worked for her great, but then she had piles of index cards all over the place, and she couldn't share them with her friends. They couldn't conveniently pass them back and forth. With Quizlet, I can create a set of flashcards on here. The students can study from them in various different ways, and then they can all have access to those flashcards. If a student makes a set of flashcards, it's easily shared with the entire class. It's great because you don't have to carry around packs of flashcards with you. You don't have to lend them out to somebody and then hope that you get them back and all that kind of stuff. And you can also take advantage of a wide variety of sets that are already out there. The Quizlet website provides a search feature where you can search for flashcard sets that someone else has already created. I will caution you, there is no vetting system in Quizlet. And what I mean by that is anybody can create a flashcard set about anything. There's very inappropriate stuff out there, and there's also, more importantly, very inaccurate stuff out there. So I would caution you, I would suggest what I do with my class is I create my flash sets, and those are the only sets that the kids use. I don't tell them to go out and search for something because I don't want them to get inaccurate information. So to add a set, I'm going to click up here at the top. I have the option to choose either from my sets. You can see here I have a pre-existing set that I made for another class as an example. Folders of sets, already previously studied sets, so on and so forth. Or you can just create a new set. So we'll click there to show you how to create a new set. Okay, first thing we're going to do is give it a title. Something familiar with the kids, something that they can search, something so that they can identify it as the set that they need to be studying. So we'll call this Drafting to Vocabulary. And again, you have several options over here. Visible to, for right now at default, it's set to visible to everyone. And right now it's set to default to be editable just by me. You can change this if you want. You can give certain classes the option to change them, certain people who may have a password, only you, so on and so forth. It's kind of customizable how you want it to appear to the kids. So in these boxes down here are, as you can imagine, the front and the back of your flip card. It's really up to you. They tell you term, they tell you definition, but the content of what's on one side of the card and what's on the other side of the card is entirely up to you. It can be anywhere from normal regular text. If you look over here, you can add pictures, you can do recorded audio, various different options that you have. You also have different options for languages, and you're not just listed or limited to spoken languages. If you click on choose language and scroll down, you'll see that there are languages for spoken language, but also for, if I come down here, scrolling, there are math languages, there are chemistry languages, and what I mean by those is there are languages where you can use numbers, there are languages where you can use chemistry symbols, there is American Sign Language, I believe I saw in here. I don't know anything about American Sign Language, so I don't know how it would come up. But you can choose which language is appropriate for what you're trying to do. So for drafting in an English-speaking classroom, I'm going to keep everything set to English. I'm going to fill in one side with the term, and I'm going to fill in the other side with the definition of the term, or however it is. I'm going to tell you right now, keep your phrasing simple, keep it short. I experimented with a couple of these and I had a rather long definition for the word, and when you play the different games that are there for the kids to study from, they have to type it in exactly as you have it typed, which isn't the worst thing, because you want them to learn it in the way that they're going to learn it. But if they miss a word, or if they get the right definition but it's worded a little bit differently, it tells them that they didn't get it right, and that sort of builds on that negative mindset that we want to try to avoid. So just to show you a quick example, using the words, I would put in here maybe T-square, which is a tool we use in drafting to draw square horizontal lines. And for what I'm going to do with my purposes, I'm going to put horizontal lines, because I don't need them to give me a description of the tool. I want them to know what the tool does. And from there, I could keep adding, that's English. I could keep adding tools here. I'm going to do a triangle, and then we're going to do vertical lines. Right. I'm going to do French curve, and I can add irregular shapes. I can do brush, moving, erasure shavings, and I could keep going. I could keep filling in. If you need more, and there's an unlimited amount of flashcards that you can add here, I can keep adding and adding and adding, and I can keep adding cards to the whole set. If I want to add a picture, I don't really know what pictures I happen to have on my computer right now, so I'm not going to go looking for a picture of a T-square. But if I wanted to, I could click on the picture here, and it gives you some options from a predetermined list of images. So it's pretty intuitive. It comes up, it knows I picked T-square, so I could put in here the picture. Now when the student flips to that flip card, or with that flashcard, they're going to be shown that picture, and they're going to have to know that that's a T-square. Pretty easy stuff, pretty basic, pretty straightforward, nothing crazy here. Like I said, the pitfall I would avoid is making your definitions too long so that it gives them trouble when they're trying to study with it later. So we're just going to come down here, and we're going to hit create. It's going to save our set. We have the options to do several things with it. We could share it on Facebook. I don't know about you, but I'm not any Facebook friends with any of my students. So Twitter, whatever, but we could just add it to a class. Okay, and it's already by default added to my Drafting 2 class. If I wanted to add it to my Drafting 1 class, I could do that here. So once that's done, I come up, and it right away takes me to where I can see my 6 different learning options. I have different options that I can do. Each one is a different style. Flashcards is your traditional flashcard studying technique. It'll show me the front of the card. So for instance, here's my T-square picture and my horizontal lines. And this is just strict, there's no necessarily feedback. I click here to flip it. Oh, and that's the T-square. If I knew it, great. If I didn't, then I need to keep practicing. There's an option here to spell check it, to edit. There's a star if I feel like I'm not understanding the concept and I want to study that card separately. If I come over to the learn option, here's where I need to actually enter a phrase or answer the question. So removing erasing shields, this would be a brush. I'm going to answer it, and it tells me I was correct, and you can see here it tracks me how many I have remaining, how many I have incorrect, how many I have incorrect, so on and so forth. I can start over if I want to, those kind of things. And the number of correct, the number of incorrect tracks back, so you as the teacher can look at that set and you can review how many kids actually are understanding the concept. Great for formative assessment if you're tracking it, because kids will do this on the weekends, kids will do this after school, so you can log in every now and then and see how they're doing. Speller is just that. If you're trying to use the kids to use Quizlet to teach the kids spelling words and that kind of stuff, it comes up. I think you heard it there. It tells you the name, and then you need to type in what it said, and it'll tell you if you were correct or not. Test is another one of the learning. You can choose over here how you want the questions to come up, and this is the kids choosing this. This isn't you choosing this. They can choose to mix it up and hopefully learn it in different varieties, or you can tell them how your test that day is going to be so they can match it to what's going on here. They answer the questions, they find out how they would do on the test. Scatter and gravity are games. I'm going to try to wrap up here in 30 seconds. I'll do another one to show you the rest of it because I'm running out of screencast-o-matic time. But Scatter is a game, it's sort of like matching. It's going to take the backs of the cards and the fronts of the cards, put them all over the screen, and then it's up to you to try to match them. So here's French curve and your regular shapes. That's a match. Vertical lines and triangle are a match. T-square goes with the picture here, and brush goes with removing eraser shields. Hang on one second.